Jason Culp. I'm the head of the upper school at Lawrence School, and was asked the question about what to do if you suspect or are told that your child is the bully. And that can be a very difficult conversation for any parent to have, and the knowledge can be painful. So in working on that, the most helpful thing you can do is to talk with your child when you're already engaged in conversation about something else. When the child is relaxed and you're not talking about anything stressful or difficult. And then if you ask a child directly, are you bullying this student at school? They will say no, because students may define it differently than you define it or the school defines it. So the helpful thing to do is to ask, tell me about your relationships at school. Tell me about the folks that you get along with and how you interact. And once that conversation is going well, then you can introduce some discussion around, well, tell me a little bit about some of the students you don't get along with and what those relationships look like. And from there, hopefully you'll start to gain some information about some comments being made, those types of things that are of concern. And you can ask some specific questions along the line of, well, what have you said that might be hurtful? How do people react to you? Those folks who don't like you, how do you react to them? How do they react to you? So that you can determine some of the comments being made that might line up in the bullying realm. I don't think it's helpful to identify right then to the child that it's bullying behavior, as they may become defensive and anxious. But rather take that information, think about it a little bit, and then I would process with the school to get more information, particularly if the report about the bullying came from the school. It's very helpful to school personnel when parents reach out and say, this is the issue that's going on, I believe my child's engaged in this behavior, how can we work together? And the school will be able to provide you a very clear perspective on what's going on. Once you have that information about specifically what the incidents are, then start doing some education with your child. You know how you were telling me that you were saying these kinds of things to this student, or you posted that comment on Facebook? Did you know that that goes in the category of bullying? And that may be very hurtful to those students. Most kids will respond to that, and maybe not even have realized that they were engaged in bullying behavior. It just seemed like what everybody else was doing. And once you identify that, that can make the necessary changes. If you have a child who's resistant to that or who continues in the behavior even after that discussion, then you may need to look for some support either with the school counselor or with a private counselor that you're working with to help the child make the connection between the behaviors you're talking about and the definitions of bullying. It's also very important as a parent, if you suspect your child is engaged in bullying behavior, to get access to their online accounts and look at what's going on. What are the postings on Facebook? What are they saying on Twitter? Because that's where you'll find the majority of the bullying behavior is emerging at this time.